Clean Slate Booktag. Got this from Catalyst Reads. I'll put his original video in the down below part of this video. And let's just get into it because I wanted to make a 10th video for this year and this seemed like an apt one to go out on. So first question, are there any genres you're going to read more or less of in 2018? This is not a goal, it's more of a prediction. I seem to be reading a little bit more nonfiction lately, probably because of some booktuber who's obsessed with all that non-made-up stories nonsense. So that's not really a goal, it's more of a kind of, it's kind of a prediction. It seems like I'm slipping that way. Number 2, are there any books that you have recently read that changed or challenged some of your own philosophies or beliefs? I don't know. I don't know how much books change me in a grand sense. One book that did come to mind was The Underground Railroad by Colin Whitehead? Oh man, now I've completely blanked on his name. But The Underground Railroad. And that was more probably me not getting the book on my initial read-through and reading reviews and going, oh, this is much more of a thought experiment. I have a tendency to be a very literal-minded reader. Sometimes it can take me a while to get down into those different levels, and this book definitely challenged my reading that way. And I don't think I enjoyed it as much at the beginning because I probably was trying to take it on a very literal level, which, I mean, I respond to characters, and I don't feel that the book read like a thought experiment in a lot of ways, and the characters sort of sometimes, especially at the beginning, kind of read as a thought experiment to me more than as a character. So that challenged me. So that's my book for that. Who would you recommend for a newbie to watch? As a newbie myself, I'd say my best advice to myself is to try and watch as many different types of booktubers out there, because there is quite a few, and just find out, see what calls to you, wow, I really like what that person is doing, and try and think about, well, what is it about that person style delivery that I could possibly take into myself, or that sort of thing, whether that's the demeanor, whether that's how they put the videos together, stuff like that. Yeah, just watch a bunch and latch on to what calls to you, and it's going to be radically different for each person, I'm sure, who gets on here. Question number 4, do you have a reading bucket list? Sort of. I've got 2 books, I think, for next year that I might read. They've been hanging around on my bookshelf, and those are ones that I might read. They've been there for a while. I did Anna Karenina last year, and I really enjoyed myself with that. So those are 2 that I might actually read. And haha, anybody who's just listening to this would have had to come to the screen and actually look, which probably really annoys you, because it always annoys me, because I basically use this as a radio inside my pocket. I wish YouTube would just let me get the audio for a lot of this stuff, because I find visuals, as you can tell, highly overrated. What is it about BookTube that has surprised you the most? It's probably the differences in age, skill, and experience of the booktubers, and that's been a very heartening, very punk rock sort of thing. Punk rock was definitely based on the idea of a lot of kids going, well, if someone can just kind of scrap together and just kind of just do it without much musical expertise, and put together a band, and there be some amazing, energetic, awesome, kick-ass bands and music, then I can do it. And I think that's the punk rock spirit, I think, seems to be quite alive and well here at BookTube, and that's probably that's what both surprised me and appealed to me about it. What are some of your goals? And they don't have to be BookTube related, but I'm not going to get into goals outside of my life. I just don't want to think about that until later tonight, or probably at some other point. I hate doing New Year's resolutions, and I'm not going to do them, and everyone says that, so yeah. But my goals for my BookTube channel are to try and put out a video on each book I read until that becomes tiresome or overwhelming, and then I'll have to scale it back or change it. And that's I think the cool thing about the booktube is I just plan to hopefully embrace the organic experience of making these videos and seeing what comes of it, how I do. Yeah. Um, if number 7, if you could meet, dead or alive, any writer, artist, or musician, who would they be? I hate questions like this, and that's no diss on Catalyst Reads. These kind of questions seem to always pop up in this stuff. I just hate those kind of questions. I don't like meeting people, and I always just have horror ideas of exactly how terribly awkward that would be. I'm a introverted person, and yeah, it's like like who can I kind of hang out with and just not talk about stuff, and then we kind of gradually over many years we get comfortable with each other and yada yada yada. Yeah, so that's not going to happen with any of these famous dead or alive people in a little 1 hour conversation, 1 hour meeting or dinner. Yeah. Um, Number 8. Would you rather have your life written by your favorite author or portrayed in a movie by your favorite actor? I would rather that I just wrote my own damn stuff, and hands off it, all you other people. I don't want to see myself ripped away from that. Even whatever I come up with about myself, even this video, is just a little slice, a little distortion of the horrible bubbling mess that is beneath all this. Um, what are some of the challenges you've had to overcome or would still like to improve upon in regards to your channel? Um, Very new channel. So the challenge is, I guess, just like kind of getting off my butt to actually do it. And so far I've got a bit of a rhythm going, and I'll need to see how I can make that more of a sustainable rhythm, because I think I've done 10 videos in the month, and that's not going to happen for most months. This is the big enthusiastic explosion at the beginning, so it's just going to be kind of coming up with something that's more slow and steady to kind of hopefully give myself at least a record, or give myself a process to explore this whole medium. For me, it's no editing. My challenges to myself are just like, I'm not editing the videos. I'm only doing everything on my phone. So there is a computer in the house, but it's just not mine or what I want to use to. It's funny. It's just one of these things of like, I don't want to get on the computer and start fitzing and futzing around, because I know that'll activate my inner editor, who's not a nice fellow. You don't want to meet him. And also, I don't want to spend any money on this. I want to, after this month, probably reduce the time and let other different things come in. I want to work on my preparation for videos. Definitely, I learned that lesson trying to do the Oathbreaker review, which is the one previous to this one of trying to figure out how to communicate a book. And it's like I made a bunch of different videos for that. I finally put out one which is super long, which is a bit of a failure in itself, but at least I got the preparation in there that time, and I feel good about that. And so I kind of got that idea of, okay, no editing, but there's going to be preparation it's going to be heavy time on the front end, so that there's just, once the video's filmed, that's what's going up. Number 10, what advice would you give someone that is thinking about deleting their booktube channel? And it's funny in this, all I can do is give advice to my future self, because that's the only person that I have in my head and whose concerns I can actually think about. And it's like, okay, you fucked up. You put your foot in it. You did something really goddamn stupid. And John Jay, that is okay. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna feel that kind of cringing shame. But you know what? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's letting it kind of in. I think some of my best channels sort of let it hang out. I'll try not to use too much vivid imagery. Just that people are open and honest about themselves, and hopefully you haven't been really hurtful or nasty to someone, you probably have been thoughtless. You've probably really, you've probably been thoughtless. You probably didn't consider somebody else's feelings, because we're all these little swirling internal egos. But, you know, try and use that as, hey, I need to realize there's other people in this world. And that's one of the good things about BookTube, is hopefully getting a window into other people's lives, and not just not just the kind of the demigods who rule our media space, and who are the perfect, shining, edited, polished faces, but just regular folk who mess up and misspeak and aren't articulate, and are blinkered. And I'm going to be blinkered, and you should probably give yourself permission for that, but you should also give yourself permission to say, okay, you're going to change, you're going to hopefully improve that way as well, and expand as a person. So if you're thinking about deleting it for that reason, that's why. And yeah, we'll leave it there. So number 11, who do you tag? No one. I know I'm new to BookTube culture, but I'm pretty sure that my philosophy going forward is, if a book tag speaks to me and inspires me, I'm going to do it, which I think is often the spirit in which it's given. I mean, I think there's people who are very friendly between each other, who tag each other and give each other pokes, which is playful and fun, but I don't think it's mandatory. So if this speaks to you, if you go to Catalyst Reads and you've watched his video and that spoke to you as it did to me, fill your boots, do it. So yeah,